like this. Bobby Mays, Scotty Hopson, J.P. Prince, Wayne Chisholm, and Brian Williams. Now, LSU might have only won 2 conference games, but both came in the last 2 weeks. So if there's a point where they're playing their best basketball, it's right now. And, you know, you think about kind of the correlation between Trent Johnson's team and Roy Williams' team at North Carolina. You just can't lose all the guys they lost and expect to come back and repeat as SEC champions as they were a year ago.
The difference is Roy Williams reloaded with some Jordan Brand All-Americans and McDonald's All-Americans, and LSU did not.
Right.
LSU has a little bit of a pass this year. Their recruiting obviously has stepped up for next year. Bruce Pearl, I think you're concerned with this ballgame. First of all, are my guys ready to play? Or are they looking forward to what would be waiting for them tomorrow? Because you cannot let LSU hang in this ball game, Brad. I think you jump on them early and make sure that you are ready to play if you're Tennessee.
As Barry said up there when the guys were talking in between games, when Tennessee comes to play, they can play as well as anybody, including Kentucky in the conference. Green and Prince at the jump center. Our officials, J.B. Caldwell, Rick Campbell, and Tom Eads, who's got it in hand as you look from above. And our second game of the SEC tournament is underway. Chris Bass running the points. Storm Moore is going to take the first shot and bury it. There's a good start.
I think that's one of the keys for LSU is who emerges as a third scorer to go with Tasman Mitchell and Bo Spencer. They don't have enough offense if someone else doesn't step up and get close to double figures.
Hobson, lazy pass is picked off by Spencer. Spencer coming down 2-on-1. He'll do it himself, but Bobby Mays blocks it out of bounds. Nice recovery by Mays to keep that from being an easy basket. Tennessee had 12 turnovers the first time these two teams got together, and LSU only had 8. Again, it was a low-scoring game back on February 4th. Spencer thought about it, but Hobson with those long arms got on him defensively. Here's Mitchell. And a foul over the back. Garrett Green.
That's one thing Brian Williams has brought to Tennessee's starting lineup now that he's firmly entrenched and getting his name called. Size around the rim, they're a better rebounding club. They can grind it out a little bit more on both ends of the floor in a slow-paced game like this.
Remember, he didn't play last time. He was still under suspension. And Melvin Goins played about half the game. And they're both starting in this one.
Boy, Tennessee lazy with their passes to start this game against the zone.
Well, there goes Weezy. He likes to take that first 3 of the game, and he knocks it down. Wayne Chisholm is 28th three-pointer of the year. Probably for a 6'9" guy, there's not too many better three-point shooters probably around.
Tennessee, Brad, they do a lot of switching defensively, but they have to be careful who switches on Tasman Mitchell because he can run the inside in a heartbeat.
You're watching Tennessee for the first time this year, and you hear me call Wayne Chisholm Weezy. That's his nickname by his teammates. And there is Storm Warren, and there's a storm brewing early. 4 points in the first couple of minutes for Storm Warren. Chisholm feeds down low on the baseline. Prince had it rejected by Green. And his pass, again, Tennessee. Some weird-looking passes here in the first couple of minutes.
LSU doing to Tennessee what Tennessee did to Kentucky. Playing the zone, going to shrink the floor. Tennessee only makes 5 threes per game. And that's LSU's gamble to stay in this game and try to pull off an upset.
So one thing Tennessee doesn't have is a lights-out shooter. And they turn it over. A couple of years ago, the Volunteers had a guy like Chris Lofton who at any given time could go for 30 and just start knocking them down from outside the arc. This Tennessee team doesn't have that. Nice look. Chisholm with the finger roll off the pass from Brian Williams, and he's fouled.
And Brad, following up what you're talking about, Tennessee lacks that Chris Lofton type shooter. They don't full court press right now because the numbers and the athletes don't really dictate it. That's what's even more impressive about this season to me for Bruce Pearl being the 13th ranked team in the country. He's had to adjust how he's coached for 18 years as a head coach to fit the needs of this team. And they can grind it out and really guard you in the half court. And that's a lot of strong points where Bruce Pearl could have been the coach of the year in this league.
No doubt. Kevin Stallings won it. Bruce Pearl did a marvelous job. John Calipari obviously has the #1 seed in this tournament. Chisholm matches his jersey number here early with 4 points and a tie game.
I like Tennessee pressing. And if you're Bruce Pearl, I think you want to make sure your guys are playing hard. And one way to make sure they play hard is to press, because if not, they will get exposed.
Spencer around a pick for 3. Kept alive by 1. Fresh shot clock for the Tigers. Harris, wide open, just inside the 3-point line. And it's Harris, a freshman. Hobson will try a triple. Chisholm had a hand on it, but lost it to Chris Bass.
Bruce Pearl's not going to like that 3-point shot going up from Hobson without the ball going inside first. It's exactly what LSU wants you to do, so they bite on the bait early.
In this case, Tiger bait. Jump stop, rejection by Williams, all the way back over to the Tennessee bench.
Casman Mitchell, such a versatile scorer, didn't get a lot of lift, a lot of surge out of his legs, and Williams just waiting for it at the rim.
10 on the shot clock. Mitchell gives it up. Harris, somebody's going to have to put one up or hurry. Oh, no, they're not going to get enough time. They just forgot what was going on with the shot clock. Remember the rejection by Williams, they might have been thinking they had a full 35 and they didn't. And so LSU turns it over.
Part of that has to fall on the responsibility of Bo Spencer. Upperclassman guard out there. And he has to always understand what that shot clock says and make sure his 4 teammates understand it. Especially in the first half when you're away from your bench and away from your coaching staff that can help you through it.
Knowing that every second counts, Tom Eads goes over to the scorer's table and they add 1 second to the game clock. It's kind of a strange point at this point in the game. Less than 4 minutes in, but maybe it'll come in handy to somebody later in the game. Williams had it stripped, got it back.
I would not get toes above the 3-point line if I'm LSU. Not until Tennessee proves they can make multiple threes on you.
Stephen Pearl had it stripped inside, and it's out of bounds to LSU. Back in Nashville, Tennessee, our principal financial group, Edge to the Game, Jimmy Dykes.
If you're LSU, don't turn it over. That's the way you keep the game in the 50s, and you feed Tasman at the appropriate times. He's your leading scorer. He needs to get the most shots up in this ball game. For Tennessee, a knockout punch early, and they have not been able to do that yet, and speed the game up. Tennessee trying to do that grab with their full court pressure. Bruce Pearl knows this thing cannot be a tractor pull. If it is, they could be in trouble.
Spencer has to give it up. Again, LSU utilizing the majority of that shot clock before they go to work. Bass has a look up with 6 on the clock to shoot. Spencer on the baseline. Would have been a shot clock violation had Tennessee not gotten it. He missed the rim. And back the other way, trying to speed that game up. Chris Bass can't stay with Goins, and he picks up the foul. Well, Tennessee 11-5 in conference play.
Brett Hobson has really come on. I think he kind of floated and coasted on the offensive end during the months of November, December, and January. He has stepped it up in that department. It's a club that can really, really guard you now in the half court. They can swallow you up with their length at times. And I think they could play their way up to a 2C because of their wins over Kentucky and Kansas. No one has better wins than that on their resume.
That is pure quality there. A couple of #1s. Hobson not in there right now. They move it around the perimeter with Goins, Tatum, Prince, Chisholm, and Pearl on the floor for the Volunteers. Prince for 3. He's not really the guy you want shooting threes, though he had a couple of big ones in the win over Kentucky. He only has 9 on the year.
Brad, the next time LSU's on defense, you watch where those perimeter defenders will set their feet. They'll step on the three-point line, but they will not get above it.
Prince with a nice job defensively on the other end. Goins pull-up jumper. Neither team shooting very well right now. But it's that low-scoring game, the tractor pull that Jimmy was talking about for LSU so far. They maintain a lead at 6 minutes into the game, only 6-4. So it has the makings of what they did in the regular season, 59-54. Tennessee won that one. Mitchell got a nice open look. Tipped, and Chisholm finally comes down with a rebound. LSU had a good open look, and Storm Warren a pretty good look at a tip-in. Neither converted. Weeks, including a two-pointer over Georgia heading into this tournament.
Brad, you can't lose all the players that LSU lost in Trent Johnson's after his first year and recover quickly. He's just learning the recruiting grounds of the SEC and state of Louisiana. He has a very good class coming next year. I look at this like Trent Johnson's first year, because he inherited a team with a bunch of upperclassmen from John Brady last year.
Right.
And now he gets to put his stamp on this program and start to rebuild it.
Bass gives it up to Ludwig. 4 to shoot again. Bass has a look up. Can he get a shot away? Ludwig, is it good? Yes, it is. Wow, at the very last second.
That's as good of a half-court possession that LSU could draw up. Take that thing down to the final tick of the shot clock and shorten this game and get points out of it.
Tennessee, again, just sloppy with their passing right now. Trailing by 4. Bruce Pearl's going to bring in some fresh blood, including Bobby Mays and Kenny Hall in a second when he gets a chance. They miss him close. And foul on the rebound is going to be on LSU.
As that recruiting class I talked about, 3 guys in the ESPNU top 100 rank. Ralston Turner, Malcolm White from Ole Miss, a transfer sitting out at 6'10". So a complete makeover for this club next season.
Long 3 off the mark. Hall trying to keep it alive, but he tips it to Mitchell. Almost 8 minutes into the game, and Tennessee, all their scorings come from Wayne Chisholm. A 3-pointer and a free throw. Warren nails it on the other end. Storm Warren's got 6. And the lead goes to 6.
Tennessee's in trouble in this ball game. I'm not just talking about the score, but their body language and what they're doing against this zone, Brad.
Thank you.
They're not moving that ball. They're not getting inside touches. They are settling for jump shots.
I was going to say body language other than this guy, and he's got a chance for a 3-point play. We were talking about him being wheezy. Right now, Tennessee is sleepy. We get the rest of the dwarfs in here, we'll have a good ball game. 11:46 remaining till halftime. SEC tournament presented by Haviland. All part of championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. LSU so far is Wayne Chisholm, who has all of their points. And you talk about bench points. Tennessee does it better than anybody in the conference. They might need that bench as Bruce Pearl looks down it.
Brad,
and Wayne Chisholm trying to cap off a 3-point play here.
Brad, he's always committed, Bruce has, to use his bench. It's a philosophy that he has, and I agree with what he's always told me. I don't like guys that play over 30 minutes a ball game, because how can you possibly play with maximum effort for that long? So you look at Tennessee right now in conference play, they don't have one guy that's played over 30 minutes per game.
LSU, meanwhile, they stay for the most part with their starters out of necessity to stay in games. Although Populous is in there right now, and Ludwig's already seen some time off the bench. Warren has been the big scorer so far for LSU. 6 of their 10. 6 on the shot clock. Spencer lets fly, rims out a 3. Might have been a push-off on the rebound, I think, on Warren. Trying to get possession and position against Wayne Chisholm, and doesn't. Without pushing off, picks up his first foul.
That looked like a zone defense from Tennessee, but their man is their zone. And they changed the pressure points on it very well, and that time they really dropped that pressure back. And got sucked into that lane, forcing LSU to shoot from the perimeter.
Bobby Mays back in there now, as is Hobson, with the bounce pass to Chisholm. Nice job defensively by LSU, and Chisholm stepped down the baseline. So again, Tennessee has got more turnovers than they have field goals. And we're almost halfway through the first half.
Well, finally LSU gets an inside touch, but that doesn't mean you have a green light just to turn and go to the rim. You have to respect the built-in defense from behind and kick that thing back out.
And timeout taken by LSU with 10:48 remaining in the first half. LSU, the lowest seed in this tournament, the number 6 seed from the West, and right now got the lead on the number 3 seed from the East, the 13th ranked Volunteers of Tennessee. Earlier today, if you missed it, in first round.
Next group of teams to be out right now, so Ole Miss has an opportunity, and with their guard play, we talked about the importance of guard play in the first ball game. They're a dangerous club.
Also on that left side of the ends, Georgia Tech, they got a game against North Carolina tonight, and they still haven't gotten 20 wins on the season. And can they beat North Carolina 3 times in a single season? Find that out later on this evening. There's a whole lot of basketball left all week long on this championship week. And LSU with the biggest surprise here early, leading 13th ranked Tennessee.
I'll say if Georgia Tech loses to North Carolina, you and I will be doing an NIT game in Atlanta.
That's your prediction, huh?
That's my prediction.
Well, if there's anybody that's hoping they can do it 3 times in a row, it's Paul Hewitt, who's feeling some heat in Atlanta right now with what a lot of people feel is as good a talent as the ACC has, but not the record to show it.
Brad, the talk of expanding the NCAA tournament continues to pop up as Mitchell pops to the perimeter. Just, you know what, just a lack of an awareness of Tennessee early in this ball game off of an out-of-bounds play. But well, I don't see any reason why we would try to expand the NCAA tournament when you have teams like Washington and Arizona State still in consideration, and they don't have anything on their resume that says we're deserving of an NCAA bid.
McBee, the 3 rims out. 25 of McBee's 32 made field goals are 3-pointers, so he's a designated bomber. But that one went halfway in and came back out. And with 8:39 to go in the half, LSU by 5. If you're just tuning in, you're going, wait a minute. I thought LSU was only 2-14. Well, they're playing perfectly. Or Tennessee's playing into the hands of LSU, whichever way you want to look at it. Here comes Chisholm, though, on the turnover. 3-on-2, lead pass to Prince. And there the big guy leads the break, and maybe that'll wake up the Volunteers a little bit. Prince, the only guy other than Chisholm who scored. And Wayne Chisholm trying to fire up his teammates. He's the leader of this group. Trying to fire up the fans, too. They have had little to cheer about, but they came to their feet when Chisholm asked. And a shot by Mitchell up and over the backboard. Back to Tennessee it goes. Right at the 8-minute mark. 12 minutes into a half. The number 13 team in the country with 9 points. Not what you were expecting, I'm sure.
Nope. Talk about Tennessee beating number 1 Kansas and number 2 Kentucky this year. First team to do it since 2002 to beat a number 1 and number 2 team in the same year.
And offensive foul on Tennessee. Everybody except Wayne Chisholm. Not only the leading scorer, but the dime there to Prince. But Tennessee trails by 3.
We're gonna take it to the top. We're gonna take it to the
See at Bridgestone Arena. Tasman Mitchell just 2 points so far, but closing in on 2,000, and he would join a pretty good group. A 2 or that many.
And it's been a while. When the other 2 guys on the graphic, their pictures in black and white, it tells you it's been a long while since that's happened.
And I'm sure they had color photography back in Pistol Peach Day. Nobody will ever score that many points. We know that. And an offensive foul going the other way as Spencer a little bit out of control.
Brad, this is a hard game for Tennessee because no matter what that coaching staff, Bruce Pearl and his guys say about LSU, Tennessee's kids are smart enough to know Coach only won 2 games in conference play. I remember one time when I was assistant coach at Kentucky, and we were playing a team that had, like 3 names for their school, like a directional school, Northwestern something. And I was in charge of the scouting report, trying to get our guys' attention. They'd only won 2 games that year. They're like 2-12. I go through the entire scouting report, talk about everything, keys to the game, how big the game is, any questions. Guy raises his hand. Coach, you having chicken or burgers after the game?
Didn't hear anything.
No, don't say anything. All they know is this team's won 2 games. And that's kind of what Bruce Pearl has had to, not easy to get Tennessee to that magic level against LSU.
Williams has a shot blocked underneath and then a walk on Prince. 7 Tennessee turnovers with just under 7 to go. Tell you what, if they're trailing at halftime, Bruce Pearl will get their attention one way or the other. I'm sure he's going to, whether they're in front or behind.
And they have a lot to play for. They have a lot to play for now. They have to disregard the fact that maybe they were deserving of a first-round bye. I agree completely with that. And I think that will be addressed at the end of the season by the SEC, maybe how they do their conference standings from here on out. But regardless of that, Tennessee's in position to not only secure a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament, they could climb to that 4th number 2 seed if they have a magical run right now in Nashville, but they better get started.
Boy, you brought that whole idea up about the seeding a week or so ago, and it was the talk of the commissioner's party last night, I'll tell you that much. Warren, out of desperation, buries it. 8 for Storm Warren.
That's a great description word on the shot and what you're facing with LSU. Desperation, because they know their days are over this season as soon as they lose their next game. So they're going to play hard, they're going to play loose, they're going to play with as much confidence as they can and try to get on a magical 4-day run.
That's happened the last 2 years, so don't think it's completely out of the question. Remember what Georgia did on Tornado Weekend in Atlanta a couple of years ago. And this, they come out of the woodwork. Well, so far they have in the first half for the first 14 minutes. We'll give them that much.
And typically under Bruce Pearl, Brad, Tennessee likes to press, to speed the game up and get it going back and forth. But they have not been a pressing team near as much this season. But he might be thinking about going to a little bit of pressure right now to try to get more possessions involved in this game.
Goins' first points. First guy other than Prince and Chisholm to score for Tennessee, and he only got 1 of 2.
Can't set up pressure if you don't make the free throw.
Right. 6 minutes remaining first half, 14-10. You're just tuning in. LSU has led virtually throughout. Tennessee's only lead was after Wayne Chisholm hit a 3-pointer to open the scoring for the Volunteers. Almost a turnover there, but they get it on the baseline of Ludwig, and he's going to the free throw line courtesy of Brian Williams.
Little dribble weave up top. It's almost like false motion to shorten the length of the game and the possessions. And a good look, wasn't it, from Tasman Mitchell?
Sure was. Here's a guy you want at the free throw line, even though he's a freshman. He's 24 out of 26 from the stripe on the year. Whoop. Okay, never mind. I've done that to these poor kids for 30 years. Not just this team. Talking about every team.
But you can still win the Furman Bisher Award for Sports Media Excellence. That's what I like about you.
Yeah, that was just a small turnover on my part, but LSU leads by 5.
Stay inside the three-point line in the zone. So far, it's working.
Yep. And Trent Johnson saying, how is that not our ball? Ludwig looked like he knocked it off the Tennessee player. But the ball's will inbound. 5.5 remaining first half. Williams, no-look pass is a beauty to Prince. The extra pass right back to Williams, but he missed in close. Well, good teamwork there by Prince and Williams to get it to each other, but Williams just can't convert.
Well, if you're Tennessee right now, you're fighting to stay positive. You have to generate your own enthusiasm right now. You can't get your dauber down, because if you do, you're getting ready to have the biggest upset so far of championship week hung on your head.
Up and wrap around under the Ludwig. What a great play by Bo Spencer. And Bruce Pearl calls a timeout in disgust, I think. down 7. Biggest lead by LSU in the half.
And
this is pretty here.
Brad, when Tennessee's playing very well, they're a great half-court defensive team. And LSU, 2 out of the last 3 possessions, they've worked that shot clock down. They've gotten to the teeth of the defense. They've made a play.
Coming in. They don't look like a 23-7 club right now. Look more like a 7-23 team.
Well, what did they talk about in this timeout? What will their zone offense show us that Bruce Pearl's message was?
Having your leading scorer would probably help, but LSU knows that. They're trying to stay with Hobson. Here's a follow by Chisholm from the weak side. Been virtually all Wayne Chisholm for Tennessee scoring. And he's asking for some help from his teammates and the fans.
Go back to our keys to the game. Remember LSU to slow this game down, keep it in the 50s, make sure they're in control of the pace of the game, and they certainly are.
This baby might be in the 40s the way it's going. Ludwig off the bench, the extra pass. Harris flying sideways, and Chisholm comes up with a loose ball. Wayne would love to hit a 3 right here. That might wake his team up. There it goes. Didn't get it though.
And LSU would love for Chisholm to shoot 3s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know he can make them. But right now, if you're Tennessee, you better start doing damage around the rim in some form or fashion.
Spencer, long ball. Hit the front of the eye, and the J.P. Prince will bring it down for Tennessee. All the way, in fact. Williams, put back is good. And a chance to make it a 3-point play.
There's a little damage around the rim.
Yep.
Good effort by Williams to run the floor. He's a big-bodied guy. And Prince took that ball down with some pretty good quickness. I like the effort of 33 and White to run rim to rim. Bam. Traffic rebound, a traffic 2. Whether or not they can win the whole thing. The reason why I say that, Brad, I think 8 out of the last 9 national champions won their conference tournament. I don't think there has been a national champion to lose in the first round of their conference tournament. So that's 2 or 3 key points that I take out that loss today, that Syracuse not playing their best basketball at the right time.
You know, they didn't look necessarily indestructible, but when Louisville got them for a second time, all of a sudden there was a chink in the armor, and that chink's getting bigger, and the armor's getting rustier.
Well, what I worried about Syracuse in the middle part of January through the middle part of February, they were playing terrific. And I don't like teams that are playing their best basketball a month before the bracket comes out, because it is so difficult to sustain that level.
Tennessee trying to run here. Hobson has it rejected by Ludwig. They'll get another chance as it comes free. Back to Hobson for 3. And he missed it again. And LSU's got the rebound. We got 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. If you're wondering what's the lowest Tennessee has scored in the first half, they only had 20 points against USC. Ended up with 55 in the game, got hammered by 20-something. And right now they're getting outplayed by LSU. And I mean, they have been outplayed from the opening tip. Only 15 points with 2 minutes to play.
Brad, you got a lot of breakdowns defensively for Tennessee. I know offensively right now they're not fluid, they're out of sync, turnovers, but defensively they've got to stay in this ball game and not be offensive sensitive. Just look on this last play. A little pop, a cut, and Stephen Pearl does not rotate over quick enough. No pressure on the passer, so multiple sins results in 2 points by LSU.
2 points and 2 minutes left in the half. J.P. Prince, though, chance for a 3-point play as he got that to go. And Mitchell picks up his second foul. Be interesting to see if Trent Johnson wants to yank him out of this game for the next 158.
That's what Prince does. He scores going towards the rim, either as a cutter or on the drive. He's not going to beat you shooting the ball. He doesn't float. He goes towards the rim.
3-point play makes it a 2-point game. So J.P. Prince gives Tennessee some life. And a whistle and a foul either on Brian Williams or J.P. Prince. It's on Prince. That's Prince's second foul.
Brad, LSU doesn't have enough weapons. They don't have near enough weapons for this game to creep into even the 60s to win. You know Trent Johnson is completely pleased with the pace of this game.
Their number one weapon just went to the bench, as I was talking about. They don't want Tasman Mitchell to get a third foul before halftime. So there goes their main scoring threat here. Let's see if they can survive and get a decent shot without him on the floor. Tennessee trying to pick up the defensive pressure.
The goal here is to not turn it over and at least get a shot up on this possession.
Harris might be the guy. He is. Dennis Harris, 4 points, big bucket there. Tatum had a look at a three, gets it down to Williams, who had it blocked, but he got it back and scored.
Good effort by Williams to stay with it. Because he could have been embarrassed by the first shot block, but he wasn't. He went right back and got after it.
Tennessee to within one. Kinsley holding on to the ball, 20 on the shot clock. And right now, 40 on the game clock to play in the half.
Again, the goal in this possession, get a late clock shot, which they're at right now, and don't turn it over. Just get an attempt up on the rim.
Last time it was Harris that got the shot. This time let fly with a three. Chisholm with a rebound. Tennessee can have the lead at halftime if they score this trip. And if they use the last shot to try to score it. Right now they're on their season low for a half in scoring. J.P. Prince. Tatum for the lead. Rebound, Chisholm, and he's going to the free throw line. They're going to have an opportunity to have the lead if Chisholm hits the free throws.
Here's how undermanned LSU is in this ballgame, Brad. Zach Kinsley, number 20, is assigned to block off Wayne Chisholm. Zach Kinsley has made the LSU team 2 years in a row through the walk-on tryouts.
Right.
And he's assigned to check out one of the better players in the SEC.
So Wayne Chisholm, a 76% free throw shooter, who's 3 out of 4 from the stripe today, can give us a tie and then give Tennessee a lead if he hits 2 free throws. There's the tie. And now Chisholm can give his club the lead at the break. Unless LSU throws it the length of the court and tips it in all in one motion. And he didn't get it. And we're going to be tied at halftime. So a sluggish first half for Tennessee. Not a perfect half for LSU, but they'll certainly take it.
Kind of like a Saturday night primetime football game in Knoxville.
That's right.
21-21 going to the locker room.
3 touchdowns for each team apiece at halftime. With the guys coming back with all the highlights and scores when we return.
I received my degree
in Nashville, Tennessee. It's not a high school game. It's a college basketball game, and it's 21-21 at halftime. Whit Watson, Barry Booker, and Joe Dean Jr. You know, Brad Nessler likened this to a high school football score. This is like watching the 5A final back in Florida. 21-all at the break. What do you make of the first 20 minutes?
Well, LSU's done a great job of slowing the tempo down. They've collapsed around the basket, and both teams struggling from three-point range. A combined 1 for 16. Chisholm, the only three-point made basket in the first half.
It's the 3 seed in the East against the 6 seed in the West, and right now it seems like LSU is dictating the pace.
Well, Trent Johnson was the SEC Coach of the Year last year. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't have great talent, obviously, but he has played a nice zone defense. Tennessee, as Barry said, has not shot the ball well, and the tempo of the game definitely favors LSU in the first half.
Our first game today found South Carolina taking on Alabama as Anthony Grant.
Rocky Top will always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee. Don't quit your day job. You such a hater, man.
So far, the day job isn't very good for Tennessee either. 21-21. Our SEC tournament first round presented by Haviland. At the break, even game. And when we started this thing, Jimmy had his edge of the game, and nobody's listening to you, Coach. Knockout punch early for Tennessee. 2 fast break points. They haven't sped the game up. Don't turn it over. LSU listened there. Feed Tasman. They've fed Tasman, but he hasn't chewed. Anyway, Tennessee, Jimmy, has 1 point from their 3 backcourt players. And they're going to have to improve that in the second half, or they're in trouble.
Well, LSU, again, Brad, they're going to shrink the floor defensively. Tennessee comes out and turns it over on the first possession. Just a half step out of sync, out of rhythm, Tennessee so far in this game.
They've got 9 turnovers and 2 assists. If that tells you how Tennessee played in the first half.
And 33% of the shots taken by Tennessee in the first half were from beyond the 3-point line. I think that's a little out of balance. They have the size advantage inside if they can take advantage of it.
9 turnovers and only 7 made field goals for the Volunteers. The 13th ranked team in the country and the number 3 seed from the East. And LSU, a team that only won 2 conference games, is in front again. LSU led the entire first half, with the exception of 35 seconds. Mays for 3. Got it. Bobby Mays' first basket. I said 1 point from your 3 guards isn't going to do it. But he's just given Tennessee only their second lead of the ball game with that 3-pointer.
Well, Bass has really played well, not as a scorer. He hasn't turned that thing over until now. And a one-man press by Bobby Mays.
Bobby Mays, Bruce Pearl always tells us the caliber of the guards he plays with sometimes dictates how well he plays. Well, I think he was challenged by his coach at halftime to outplay number 4. And so far with a 3-pointer and then a forced 5-second call, he's done that here in the early going.
Because Mays fought over the top of that ball screen, it kept the 5-second time on. Had he gone underneath it, there would have been separation and the count would have been taken off.
Well, all of a sudden, Tennessee with 5 points to open the half and to open up their biggest lead. So they have awakened whatever stirred them at the locker room at halftime so far. And they've got the rebound. This is Hobson, their leading scorer, who still hasn't in this game. Double dribble on Bobby Mays.
Passing that basketball against the zone on the last possession. That's probably the best possession we've seen of zone offense from the Volunteers.
Everybody touched it, didn't
they? Yeah, they reversed it, got multiple touches, went inside, and then one more pass. Good look.
Wide open for Warren, but he missed it from the elbow. Hobson still looking for his first points. And still looking for his first points. 2-on-2. Bass bringing it down. Whoa. Oh, Spencer. And a blocking foul on Bobby Mays.
And I didn't see
no, it's not J.P. Prince. Beg your pardon.
I didn't see the official point at the floor. But J.P. Prince may have been part of his feet right underneath the cylinder, which is an automatic.
JP standing for just puzzled right there on the foul call. There's the first point for a 15-point-a-game scorer, Bo Spencer. But then a lot of the averages are going to take a hit today in a low-scoring affair here in our second game of 4 today. Alabama came from 18 down in the second half to beat South Carolina in the first game if you missed it. They won it 68-63, and now here, the number 13 Tennessee Volunteers having their hands full with the LSU Tigers. Chisholm has to give it up.
And Hobson ought to be able to stretch against this zone. You know, he's a good three-point shooter, as is Tatum.
Offensive foul on Tatum.
It's a screen up top. That's a good call. Storm Warren has those feet set. Torso facing Tatum. Tennessee, just when you thought they had a little momentum in the building and some energy, comes right back out of.
Mitchell misses, but Ludwig keeps it alive. He's going to try it himself, and he'll go to the free throw line.
There's no reason to get stretched right now in this 2-3 zone. If they make threes, so do it.
Mays missed one. Chisholm cleans up off the window. A dozen for Wayne Chisholm.
That was a man's rebound that time by Chisholm, because there were more purple jerseys in the rebounding area than there were white jerseys. In that NCAA tournament, I think it's very, very important. 6 out of the last 8 #1 seed grads the last 2 years have at least made it to the Elite 8. And I think this is a year with so much uncertainty. You want to be protected with that #1 seed as long as possible. And now Syracuse is going to have to sit and watch. Does West Virginia win the Big East tournament and grab a #1 seed? Does Ohio State win the Big Ten and snatch that #1 seed?
A lot of questions that will be answered during championship week in the next 3.5 days. A surprise here, obviously, if you're just joining us. LSU, a team that won only 2 conference games, tied with the #13 team in the country right now here in the second half. Ooh, a brick that Brian Williams saves for Scotty Hobson to put back in. Williams has got 7.
They're a better rebounding ball club when Williams is on the floor. He's not going to get a lot of balls that are out of his area, but he gets all the balls that are in his area.
He's not going to jump out of the gym, but that wide load body, he doesn't have to. Warren backing in on Chisholm, and he somehow got around on the baseline. How about that move? I didn't think he had enough room to do that. Neither did Tennessee defensively, obviously. Tied at 30. Third tie of this half, including the halftime tie of 21-21. Tatum gave it up. Mays is wide open. He's got to take it, but it's way off. Williams, like Jimmy said, had his hands on that one too. But the little guy, Chris Bass, comes out of the pile with it. All the way. Williams with the carom. Hobson going to be fouled. And he hits the deck hard. Storm Warren leading the way right now for LSU. He's got 12. LSU right now. Storm Warren leading the way. Tasman Mitchell only 4 points. And Bo Spencer a 15-point-a-game score with just 2 free throws. So the forecast for this afternoon, we have a storm warning for you right now. And still does. Scotty Hobson has not scored. You can see the frustration a little bit. Turns around and walks away from the free throw line. Tennessee, as Jimmy said, way back. Their body language from the opening tip of this game. So far, their heads and bodies have not been in it. Meanwhile, Ludwig trying to hustle to save the ball. And he stepped on the sideline. So Tennessee will have another chance at it.
Brad, I've been in this spot before as a coach. And right now, if you're Tennessee, you're expected to win this game. You are the 13th ranked team in the country, tracking the #3 seed in the NCAA tournament. And you have to manufacture and just make up some enthusiasm over there. You have to fake it for a while, but you've got to get yourself going in this game.
Williams in some trouble and throws it away.
And tracking one of the top 12 teams in that NCAA tournament as of right now. They could go up or down.
I guess I should say their resume is losing some of its references. There's a whistle and a foul on Tennessee inside. And it goes on Cameron Tatum.
Bruce Pearl gets 24 points a game from his bench. They aren't even close to any type of number like that today.
No. Bad pass inside. And Stephen Pearl with the turnover. And on the other end, Cameron Tatum.
I'm just wondering when Tennessee is going to do something defensively. A trap, an ice. There's the trap. Try to get this game going up just a little bit. LSU handles it well.
Bass has a look at a three. Not a very good one, but a look nonetheless. And he'll come out. Populous will come back in for him.
Populous, another walk-on, along with Kinsley, that have gotten a lot of minutes for Trent Johnson this year.
Under 14 to play. Tennessee with a 2-point lead. The biggest lead, 3 in this half.
Tennessee continues to screen the top of the zone. I like it.
Prince, that's something he does very well when he gets in the lane. And now Tennessee by 4. Now can LSU answer? They had the lead almost the entire first half. Now they find themselves down 4 points. There's a three-pointer to try to cut it, and another air ball by the backcourt of LSU. Their last 2 three-pointers have been within about 4 feet of the backboard.
Brad, look at the ball reversal. It's going to start here, and we're going to take it the other direction. A skip pass, boom. The drive, even when he drives right, he drives with his left. That's how left-hand dominant J.P. Prince is.
Let's see how Tennessee plays with its biggest lead. Only 4, but nonetheless a more impressive showing by the Volunteers here in the first 7 minutes of the second half. And Pearl will inbound for the Volunteers. Three-pointer rebounded by Spencer. You got to think that at some point Tasman Mitchell comes to life for LSU, if there's going to be any life in his game today.
Well, they got to feed him. There's the feed.
And an offensive foul.
Brett, he really tried to force the issue because he had 2 guys on him, double him up on the catch. It was very difficult to take the ball from the three-point line to the rim against Tennessee. They are a very good position half-court defense.
And with as many body parts aching as Wayne Chisholm's had all year, he took a good charge there. He got it right in the chin. Maybe the only thing that doesn't hurt on it.
Tennessee tried to screen the top of the zone again. They've done it multiple times.
Chisholm on the other end with a left hand. How about that shot? 14 for Wayne Chisholm. Lead swells to 6. All of a sudden, the orange-clad Vol fans have come to life. And a turnover by LSU. Wayne Chisholm, every year, Jimmy, we've watched him grow and get better. This shows you some of that better.
Well, great footwork on the initial pivot to not travel, and then after he put the ball on the floor and picked it up, he keeps that foot down again. And boy, a power move, Brad, with a finesse finish is not easy to teach, and it's not easy to execute, and that's just what he did.
The timeout. LSU, as Tennessee has stretched its lead to 6 points. Take a look at our champion moments from past SEC tournaments.
Well, it's sold out Bridgestone Arena. If you don't have a ticket yet and you want to come into this building,
bring your checkbook.
Bring your checkbook. You may have to pay $4,500 for a lower level midsection seat.
You might want to bring cash. I don't think anybody
they would take
is going to take a check card. Never mind.
Not the good ones.
No.
Not the good ones.
.1209 remaining. And Tennessee with a 6-point advantage. It was 21-21 at halftime. Tennessee trailed by as many as 7 in the first half. They were down 17-10. Remember, here's what they're playing for. A chance to get into the afternoon bracket tomorrow against Ole Miss. Alabama's already advanced. Came from 18 down to beat South Carolina in our first game today. Three-pointer, Tatum. Tennessee has 2 3-pointers today. Chisholm's got one. Bobby Mays had one to open the second half. And so far, LSU still looking for one. A great equalizer. I don't know if it's going to matter today unless Tennessee finds, or rather LSU finds the range from the outside. They went 0 for 7 in the first half from outside the arc. This has been their main guy today. Warren. And trying to give it up to Ludwig. They turn it over. With 11:29 remaining in the ball game, it's Tennessee's game to win right now, unless LSU can come from behind. Out of the SEC tournament presented by Abilene. All part of championship week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Tennessee leading 36-30. Let's take a look at our BMW drive of the game. Chisholm leading the break, and the one-handed bounce pass to his teammate J.P. Prince. That's our BMW drive of the game.
Brad, really a difficult game for Tennessee because of the style of play that LSU has to come out with because of their lack of personnel. Tennessee, the only thing they can do in this game is lose. You know, it's not like even if they win,
right, no
one's going to say, hey, great job, you're supposed to do it. And for Tennessee just to try to find a grind their way out of this thing and get to tomorrow is the goal.
And that one goes for Goins, his first field goal. So while Hobson's been held scoreless, Tennessee's leading scorer, Mays and Goins each have a field goal in the second half. So that backcourt that had 1 point in the first half has now helped Tennessee to an 8-point cushion. Almost the midway point of the second half. Now who's going to score for LSU?
I'm like you. Number one in purple is the primary target, but Tennessee's going to run guys at him on every touch.
Including that one by J.P. Prince, who stole it from him. But it's taken right back by Ludwig. Turnover for turnover there. Prince doing a nice job on Tasman Mitchell. He's asking for it. They don't get it to him yet. This guy has been their #1 scorer, but he walked with it. So back-to-back LSU turnovers the last 2 trips. And that's not going to make up an 8-point deficit.
We talked about LSU's recruiting class for next year. Tennessee has a good one coming as well now. A lot of them have been ranked in the top 10 overall. Jordan McCray, Trey Golden, Tobias Harris leads that group for Tennessee. Tony Jones and Steve Forbes continue to bring in the talent to keep that Big Orange train on track.
Yeah, we're having dessert right now. Turnovers. The last 3 trips down court. Past the midway point of the half. Double team on Mitchell, and this time he is fouled by McBee. Right now they could use a middle reliever, I'll tell you that much. They're down 8, and we're down to 9.5 to go. Will that 3 go? Nope. Harris keeps it alive. Bass leaves it for Warren from 15. Storm Warren. 14 points to lead LSU and try to keep them in the game.
What a slick pass by Bass. And he knew exactly what he wanted to do with that ball, but he wanted to make sure the defense bit on him to start with.
McBee for 3, didn't get it. And Mitchell the rebound. So LSU, let's see if they can come down and convert again and make it a 4-point game, or even better, should they score a 3, but they haven't had one of those yet today.
And Brad, Tennessee did not make LSU work that time defensively. I know he's a specialist, but you can get that shot anytime you want.
Warren, air ball again. And Goins, nice hustle to bounce it off the back of Mitchell's head, and now we got a man down. Harris on the baseline clutching. All it is and nothing serious. But it doesn't help LSU's cause. They need him in there with those long arms, and he's a scoring threat. A zone here for the Tigers. Hobson in traffic, turned it over.
And you just ask, where are you going? Where are you going with the basketball, Scotty Hobson?
Destination unknown.
Yeah.
Warren on the other end. Threw up a prayer. Ludwig was somehow there, and Williams blocks his stick back. We're under 8 minutes. Tennessee in front. They may have turned it over again. They're going to be able to keep possession this time, though. Well, we've got 7:48 to play. Tennessee's in front, but I can tell you one thing. Their head coach isn't the happiest guy in Bridgestone Arena. 13th ranked Tennessee's had their hands full with LSU today, but they do lead right now. 38-32 with 7:48 remaining in the ballgame. Wayne Chisholm's led the way for Tennessee with 14. Storm Warren has 14 for the Tigers of LSU.
Well, if you love college basketball, this is the week, huh? To be tuned into our family networks. I think 177 games altogether.
Something like that.
Championship week.
Jimmy and I are not doing all 177. But we are doing 7 of 11 here. And then we'll see on Saturday the semifinals, Sunday for the final of this one on ABC. Cameron Tatum, all 5 of his points this half. And the lead goes to 9 now.
For the first time in a long time, Tennessee with more made field goals than turnovers in this game.
Took them a long while to get there, didn't it?
15 turnovers against an LSU zone defense that's not pressured.
So now a guy who hasn't scored going to the free throw line. Aaron Dotson, freshman out of Seattle.
This kid was an above the rim high school athlete before turned up his knee his last year in high school, and really should have been a redshirt this year, but because of lack of numbers was forced to play and forced to get out there his first year. But he was a major high flyer out on the West Coast in Seattle.
And he knocks down both free throws, even though he's not a great free throw shooter, but he got 2 there. By the way, Dennis Harris back in the lineup for LSU after hurting his knee a little bit down there on the baseline, but he's good enough to come back in. Tennessee leaving the door open, turns it over. Up 7 with just over 7 to go. But it's been a sloppy performance pretty much the entire day for Tennessee. Foul on Bobby Mays, I think, on the
and then other things happen across the country that would really drop them down. I think that's a very big game for Florida tonight against a very dangerous Auburn ball club.
Wayne Chisholm, good for at least one of those a half. His second three-pointer, and now it's double digits for Tennessee. Harris is short from the free throw line, and Chisholm's got the rebound. And now Tennessee in control. If they can stay that way. Lob to Prince. Pretty pass from Bobby Mays. All of a sudden, the sleeping ball's awake.
They've gotten the game in a broken floor situation just 2 or 3 times this half, and they've done a good job of taking advantage of them, Brad. Again, they're so long, a lot of athletes. This has been a grinded out game, a very difficult game to play in and to coach in if you're Bruce Pearl. Trent has done a terrific job with his kids, doing all he can to keep this game manageable. It's just a matter of time before the athletes of Bruce Pearl take over.
The 2 seniors celebrating after that exchange on the alley-oop. J.P. Prince now in double figures with 11. Wayne Chisholm has got 17 to lead the way for Tennessee. So unless LSU can somehow find some offense, you're going to assume Tennessee's going to advance to tomorrow. Florida, there's their team
as well. I think they're fine, but they certainly don't want to lose and then watch some other teams play their way in that would not be in at this point and be very nervous on Selection Sunday.
Pass tipped away by Tennessee.
Brad, they take on, Florida does, an Auburn team tonight. And been reading a lot and listening. Radio shows have called me and talked to me about, Jeff Lebo, and he struggled as a head coach at Auburn. I'm telling you this, partner. I think it's a major, major, major mistake if Auburn makes a move after this season and does not allow Jeff Lebo the luxury to recruit a couple of years
into a new arena.
Into a brand new arena. Exactly right. I hear the argument all the time. We're going into a new arena. Now's the right time to make the change. No, not at all. That coach deserves to recruit to a brand new arena because he has not had that luxury in his years. I hope Auburn is patient enough because Jeff Lebo has the respect of every coach in this league, and let him recruit to the same type of facilities as a Tennessee or a Kentucky or a Georgia, whoever. That's only fair to Jeff Lebo.
It's going to be a nice little palace on the plains down there for sure. Missed shot, but that's okay with Tennessee. They'll take the rebound in the new 35 seconds, probably over a made field goal, especially with a 10-point lead. Work it around nicely to Mays for three. Tasman Mitchell with a rebound. Tasman Mitchell, unless he catches fire, it looks like he will fall short of that magic 2,000 career point mark that only Rudy Macklin and the great Pistol Pete Maravich had achieved in their careers in Baton Rouge. Hey, there's a three that'll help. Bo Spencer, first three of the day for LSU. Is it too late, though?
8%. That's what you're earning on a CD right now. That's not good.
Hobson in traffic, foul by Ludwig. Boy, Eddie Ludwig's played a lot of minutes today, and for his first SEC tournament, he's getting some valuable experience. You're a young guy, 18 years old, and you've never been in a conference tournament before. Sometimes the bright lights will get you, but he's played very well today.
So's Harris. You add that recruiting class. It's has a top 10 ESPNU ranking that Trent Johnson has ascended next year, and LSU will have an extreme makeover.
Scotty Hobson gets a big round of applause from the Tennessee fans because that's his first points. He's the leading scorer for this team. There's his first two.
And Brad, they cannot get to the championship game if Scotty Hobson goes back and takes a few steps back and plays like he did in January. He's got to stay aggressive. He's got to play smart, and he has to play like the former All-American that he was in high school.
Heat check for Spencer. And out of bounds, LSU. As on the baseline, Hobson tried to save the ball. Couldn't. Bruce Pearl feeling a little better about things right now here in Nashville. Trent Johnson trying to keep his troops alive. 48-39 Volunteers.
We gon' take it to the top. We gon' take it to the top. We gon' take it to the top. We gon' take it.
Busy streets of Nashville, Tennessee, and the SEC tournament. Brad Nessler and Jimmy Dykes on the SEC Network with you. Offensive foul on the drive. Tasman Mitchell has had a tough day. I don't think he's going to get there. All-time leading, if he was to get to that point.
Brad's still an outstanding career. Or if they come back and win and get to play tomorrow, he has a shot at it.
Right.
He's still the LSU's all-time leader in minutes played.
Most games.
Most starts, total games played. And again, he's right there with the likes of Pete Maravich and Rudy Macklin.
Good company.
Excellent company. You know what I like about Tennessee today? They have defended their tails off again. When they have struggled offensively, it's been an ugly, grinded-out game. But you look up, and right now Tasman Mitchell and Bo Spencer are combined 3 for 20. So Tennessee has made sure that it's been someone else that's put points on the board.
And LSU gives it right back. Both teams way too many turnovers today.
LSU shooting 32% in this ball game. Bruce Pearl again has always been a full court press, speed you up, get a lot of possessions. And he has taught half-court defense and got his guys to buy in as well as anyone in this league this year.
Remember back in the regular season, LSU only shot 31% and lost by 5. Jimmy said 32 right now and losing by 9.
Tennessee now into Cutter's offense. That results in a lot of flex screens, cuts around the rim, and some open 3 looks.
Still time for LSU if they can find somebody to get a hot hand. May it be Dotson? Nope. Ludwig snatches a weak side rebound, though. He'll try the shot on the baseline and got it. Good game for the freshman, 8 points.
I think Tennessee will stick with their cutters. Put those guards high up top. Get some baseline action. It's Bruce Pearl's way to kind of control the game.
Chisholm playing the 3, try to battle for his own rebound, and Williams got there before he did. And Bruce Pearl says, okay, let's take our time here.
Didn't need the shot by Chisholm.
No.
Not at all.
Spencer with the foul. Trent Johnson wants a timeout. 7-point game with 2:03 remaining. And right now we take a look at our Geico play of the game.
Well done, partners.
Alley-oop from Bobby Mays to J.P. Prince.
Pass was on time and on target.
Senior to senior. And Wayne Chisholm, the other senior, is kind of leading that huddle right there. And I think that tells you that Wayne Chisholm's the undisputed leader of this team, and he's led them again today. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double. But, Jimmy, let's face it, they get to tomorrow, they're going to be a little bit tired. They're going to have to play way better than this.
Well, they are. This was not an easy game at all for Tennessee. Not that it's over.
Right.
But LSU comes in winning 2 conference games this year. Tennessee's sitting there with a number 13 national ranking, you know, hanging on to a number 3 seed right now, tracking for the NCAA tournament. Very difficult to get to the magic level if you're Tennessee this afternoon. Just find a way to grind it out and win, and then get ready for tomorrow afternoon.
And by the way, we did say if they get to tomorrow.
Sure.
There's still 2 minutes for LSU to do something about it. Quick bump by Spencer again. He's going to send Mays to the free throw line. Bobby's a good free throw shooter. 82% in fact for Bobby Mays. He has only 1 field goal today. But that's what you need in the late stages of games to win, not only in your conference tournaments, but in the NCAA as well. You better be able to shoot free throws. As a team, Bruce Pearl's club is not that great, but this guy is.
Brett, remember go back to the top of the show when we were all talking about for LSU to win this ball game, it has to be in the 50s. Well, the important thing is that they couldn't be in the 40s. And they don't want...
Again, Tennessee content to watch that clock go down. Get down under 1.5 minutes before they attempt the basket here. Les Mays goes a little early. He did, but he scored. And now we got 90 seconds left. Tennessee by 9.
I was a little surprised LSU didn't foul, because I don't think there's enough time or possessions left in this type of a game to just play it straight.
Finally, Tasman Mitchell hits a 3. But that's only his first field goal of this half. Mays through traffic again. And this time they will send him to the free throw line. Dotson with the foul with 1:08 to go. LSU within 6. Would take a couple of misses by Mays here to really give LSU some hope. Again, all his scoring, Bobby Mays in the second half.
And that floor opened up for Bobby Mays. Got a 6-point lead with just over a minute to go, and you might have wanted to back that thing out and take some more time off, because I think LSU was going to foul you regardless. He makes these, it doesn't matter.
Yep. And he did 4 straight for Bobby Mays here in the last 30 seconds or so. 54-46. 3-pointer. Oh, it goes. Tasman Mitchell back-to-back triples. Gives LSU at least some hope still. And the quick foul there. Talk about a shooter's bounce off the rim.
He's made, more than his fair share in conference play. Makes about 1 a game. That's a nice soft touch. Just died.
And Goins missed the free throw. Rebound is Ludwig's. Hold the phone. Don't go away yet.
They don't have to settle for a 3 here. Just score the basketball.
Oh, and Dotson had a good look at it, but he came up short. Another big rebound by Williams, and now Tennessee spreads it out. Trying to hang on for dear life. They foul Mays again. Had no choice. They were running out of time. And Warren fouls Bobby Mays. This was a nice drive by Dotson. He just didn't finish, and he had room. He got intimidated by the big trees in there a little bit, adjusted his shot, and didn't get enough on it.
But he did what he's supposed to do, Brad. Drive that ball to the rim. No need to settle for a 3, especially as poor as LSU has shot it so far in this game.
Bobby Mays 5 straight free throws when they needed him most. This would make it a 3-possession game if he hits this one. And he does. Boy, that's clutch. Clutch free throw shooting by Bruce Pearl's point guard Bobby Mays. So there's only a second difference on the game clock and the shot clock. Tasman Mitchell, only 2 footy anywhere.
By anyone, anywhere. But when you rank ahead of Chris Jackson and Shaquille O'Neal, and you're right there behind Rudy Macklin, you've done a lot of work. And I go back to what I said in the first half. Not a better teammate in all of the SEC this year than Tasman Mitchell to lead a very young team through a very difficult season. Never change his demeanor. Never change who he is as a person. I salute Tasman Mitchell for what he's done in his 5 years at that campus.
They get it back to him after he triggers it into Ludwig. And a turnover might spell the final chance for the Tigers right there. So they're going to have to foul immediately. And J.P. Prince wants Chisholm to be the inbounds man. And they foul Mays. Have no choice. So Bobby Mays, who's hit 6 straights, shaking off that foul a little bit on his knuckle. See if it affects his free throw shooting.
It's a good sign for Tennessee moving forward, making free throws on the first day in this building, because that is a confidence thing that can carry over to tomorrow afternoon, Brad. Tennessee only 65% from the line in conference play. They only got 12 points per game during that conference slate from the charity stripe. So confidence right now for Tennessee from that line is huge as they move forward to this in this tournament.
I think that hand did affect that last free throw, but not the second one. Hit all but one. And now final half minutes. Bass has to hurry. Trying to leave it for Spencer, and Goins knocks it out of bounds. So a low scoring first game, 59-54. Going to be very similar finish in this one in the SEC tournament. Mitchell's got to force one. Well, he doesn't. He has to give it up. Chisholm playing him tough and finally fouled him, but used a lot of clock before he did. So Wayne Chisholm's Volunteers are going to be, it appears, 24-7 after this one, if they hang on the last 16 seconds.
Brad, they are on the trail right now of number 3 seed on Selection Sunday. Had they lost this ball game, I think they would have dropped to the 4th line. If they win this tournament, they'll climb up there to a 2 seed, and that's what's staring at us right now in Nashville.
Tasman Mitchell probably a little bit tired. Missed both free throws. Bobby Mays. Now it's gonna look like a different game if you just check the score tomorrow morning and you haven't watched it, because Tennessee's going to extend its lead probably back to double digits before it's all over. And it was a lot tighter than that. Tighter and close enough, in fact, that LSU actually had a lead at one point early in the second half, until it seems like the lights came on over the Tennessee Volunteers. And now with Bobby Mays knocking down free throws, there's enough room to smile for J.P. Prince and Wayne Chisholm and company. Tasman Mitchell just taken out by Trent Johnson just so the fans could give him the applause he so richly deserves after a brilliant career, but it's going to end on a sad note for him. As LSU, even though they scared the pants off the Volunteers, they didn't scare them all the way to the floor. And it's going to be a 10 points Tennessee win. So Tennessee advances as Alabama did earlier today. Alabama will meet Kentucky. Now we know that Tennessee will take on Ole Miss tomorrow. Still 2 more games coming up later. Right now it's Tennessee a winner, 59-49 as we turn it over to Whit Watson and the guys. Whit.
All right, Brad, thanks very much. Barry Booker, Joe Dean Jr. joining me here at Bridgestone Arena. LSU goes out. Final game for Tasman Mitchell.
Yeah, great career for him. And I'm interested in the three-point shooting. Poor three-point shooting in that game. Not very good in the previous game. I think that may be a trend that trails out through this SEC tournament.
Our next game on the network, Florida Auburn, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern time. Your thoughts on that contest, Joe?
Huge game for the Florida Gators. They've got to win tonight. They're on the bubble. It may be in, but
2 more to come on the SEC Network. Check your local listings. Our final here, Tennessee 59-49 winners over LSU. They will advance to take on Ole Miss. Here is the schedule. 7:30 and 9:30 Eastern time, 6:30 and 8:30 Central time tonight on the SEC Network. On behalf of our entire SEC Network crew here in Nashville, for Barry Booker, Joe Dean Jr., and the entire crew, I'm Whit Watson. Thanks for watching. Once again, Tennessee through to the second round, a 10-point win. Come back and see us, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern time for game number 3, day number 1 of the tournament.